Hey everybody. A couple days ago I watched Stanley Kubrick's first film, feature-length film, Fear and Desire. Watched it on Turner Classic Movies. It was actually the world television premiere. Fear and Desire has been lost for some time. Basically soon after it came out, because Stanley Kubrick did not like it, thought it was amateurish, thought the themes weren't fully developed, basically just didn't want anyone to see it. Like literally a couple years after its release, he had rounded up all the copies and pretty much had them destroyed. There were some surviving copies, reels, and they actually wound up in the Howard Eastman Restoration Center, like fresh, from the distributor after Kubrick wanted them destroyed. So it's basically been sitting in a vault since its release. It was made in 1952. Again, it's pretty much been lost since then after Kubrick's death. It was restored to its, pristine glory, and, eventually, put out for release. I don't know if it's on disc of any sort, but again, this was the world television premiere on Turner Classic Films. No commercials, unedited. Turner Classic Movies is a great channel. I love that channel. Made in 1952, released, I believe, in 93. Kubrick was 24 years old when he made this film, so a young man. This is his first feature length. The running time is just about 65 minutes, so it's right at that feature length time. He made 3 short films before this, and then not maybe 2 years later, I think, or maybe even a year later, he would make Killer's Kiss, which I suppose in his eyes is his debut film. But technically, Fear and Desire, despite Kubrick's wishes, was his first original feature length. And now it's established its rightful place. Again, it's one of Kubrick's one of 2 Kubrick films that he disowned. Not many directors disown their own work, but not many directors are Stanley Kubrick. Kubrick has disowned Fear and Desire and Spartacus. I thought it was good. Again, you watch any movie from, the early 50s, it's going to be very different, and going to be somewhat a labor of love, I feel, on behalf of the viewer. I want to give the experience a 6. I watched it because I'm a Kubrick devotee, and I just love him, and I felt happy now that I could finally see this original film. And I'd say the biggest difference between this film and really any other Kubrick film is the camera is so limited in its movement. There is some movement, but it's basically all tripod. And just like moving it from there. So it doesn't really have that Kubrick feel that you would come with practically. I always consider him like one of the inventors of the Steadicam. Don't quote me on it, but I think the Steadicam was invented on one of his sets. So there's not much movement to it. The photography is still, the highlight of the film. Beautifully shot. It's black and white. They're very moody lighting at some points. I thought a lot of the time the mood and shadow like established what the character was thinking and feeling, where maybe the actor fell short. Trying to remember some of the names. I guess I should also say what it's about. It's about 4 American soldiers trapped behind enemy lines. Their plane goes down, and I want to say it's Germany. I'm pretty sure it's Germany. It's World War II. 4 soldiers, American soldiers, trapped behind enemy lines, trying to get out. That's basically, in a nutshell, what it is. They happen to come across a powerful Nazi general. Just happens to be at like his vacation home, out in the middle of nowhere. Still, again, it's a military outpost, but like a secluded, not well guarded outpost. So they, take the opportunity, even though that they have gotten lost and perhaps will never be found, they, try and complete a mission. So again, in a nutshell, that's what it's about. I mean, it's really about war, and the fact that war is hell. The actors, I remember Frank Silvera, and one other name escapes me. Imagine, I can't remember. All the acting is good. Again, dated, but good. There is a character who, gets to... what I enjoyed most about the film is how I saw many other films that, maybe not, that it influenced. I saw a lot of Apocalypse Now. I saw a lot of Inglourious Bastards, and I know that Inglourious Bastards, the Tarantino, is a remake of Inglourious Bastards, but I suppose that it was an influence on the original Inglourious Bastards. In fact, I thought that one of the scenes from Tarantino's Inglourious Bastards was pretty much an homage to a scene from this film. And so I thought that was interesting about how, some of the giants of film must have seen this at some point, even though it was, out of touch to the layman. So I thought that was, pretty cool, that somehow, they must have seen it and it still influenced, cinema, even though Kubrick did everything he could to not have people see it. It was written, produced, edited, shot, directed by Stanley Kubrick. He did everything. You can almost tell it was like a one-man operation. Again, there's not much camera movement. I doubt he did his, what he would become known for, as, an extreme amount of multiple takes. I highly doubt that happened here. There's an actor who gets to go crazy. I mean, becomes pretty much insane. I definitely admire the performance. It definitely is very out there. It is very big in terms of film. It's more of a theatrical performance, but that's okay. All the acting is fine. It's definitely slow. It meanders. There's a lot of narration, and the narration is kind of monotonous and monotone, and it just kind of makes you, lose focus, get distracted, think about anything else. The ending for me, I have thought about it, and I'm kind of wondered like what happened, but it's not like really a thinker. It's like I lost track of the characters, like the characters made a step that I, didn't see, although, I watched the entire film. So there was just like something missing at the end. I really don't know how else to say it, but even though I thought it made its point, I guess rather overtly, it still seemed to just come together at the end instead of maybe happen organically. Beautifully shot. Again, that was the highlight. It's black and white, and all the shots are composed, as if they were paintings. That's what has always separated Kubrick for me from anyone else, is that, you can take a single still frame from any of his films and it looks like it could, practically hang in a museum, because it's so beautifully composed. And that's the case here. Like sometimes you're watching someone talk and they are talking, but their face is like hidden in shadow, and everything else is bright and detailed, and then the character itself is just all black. And that was cool. I still don't really know how that's done. Kubrick started his career. For 7 years, he was a staff photographer for Look magazine in New York. So the man knew what he was doing with a camera. For a debut film, it's very interesting. It's very ambitious. And especially to, make it pretty much out of the studio system, out of the gate, it's very impressive, I think. This was more of a curiosity for me. I'm a big Kubrick fan, so I'm very pleased that I've now seen his debut film, his student film, if you will. And I enjoyed it. I definitely don't feel a desire to watch it again. I love his earlier works. I love The Killing, which was also a big Tarantino influence. I love Paths of Glory. I can watch those films like again and again. I can't really say that I can watch this film again and again. But it was definitely very interesting to watch. I'm very happy that I got to see it. But, I will give the experience a 6. And really that 6 is more for its importance in filmdom, I think, and my love for Kubrick. But, unless you're a Kubrick diehard, I doubt you'll get much out of the film, besides appreciating the beautiful photography. So that is Fear and Desire from 1952, Stanley Kubrick's debut film, and I'll give it a 6. Thank you very much.